Good day. How is everyone? Today is November 13th, 2024, and it's Wednesday. Hello, CJ and Sister Jeannie, CW, RM. Good day. It's a little cool here. It's going to be really cool tomorrow, but that's coming into winter here in the Northeast, as RM, I'm sure, is familiar. Good day, William. How are you? Thanks for chiming in. Oh dear, how bizarre. I had a comment the other day. Oh dear, how bizarre. What was it? Mary is not God. I agree. Oh dear. So hopefully she'll, not just run away, but come back. And I say she, I don't remember, but that was a lady. Yes, this teaching, this information that Mr. Nobody has uncovered is something to shake you up, and because we've been told so many things for so many years, for so many generations, that it shatters people's reality. We were talking about that last night, how reality is becoming questionable. Everybody is questioning everything. And in one sense, it's a good thing, and in one sense, it's sad because you can't trust anybody. You can't trust what you see on these devices. The only thing is, which is probably why we're going to go back to there in the not too distant future, which is person to person. It's like that China show I watched last night about the instant bike ride. I don't know if anybody else has heard of it, but the government was promoting bicycles and going on these rides, and I think they're free electric bikes for everybody to use, or not. Maybe they're not free, but they're accessible for share bikes or whatever. So they decided to, 4 college girls decided to go for a nighttime ride to this nighttime market, which was some 50 kilometers away, and get these dumplings that are a favorite, and they would record their journey as they went. Well, little did the government know, the Chinese communists, what they had started, because the next day, like, everybody saw how enjoyable that was for them, and something like 800,000 people did the same thing. Just mostly students, young people. It was just spontaneous, and they met new people and friends because they were riding thousands upon thousands next to each other, and just incredible. And I find that just amazing, and how really wonderful that must have been for them. And they got there. They were exhausted. A lot of them rode a lot more than 50 kilometers. One group, and it wasn't just in that one area. There was other parts of the country that did it. And some went to Tiananmen Square, for those familiar with what happened there. That's a big no-no. But it was just, it was something. So the idea of getting to speak to somebody in person really made an impression on them. It's truth, okay? It can't be you hear what you hear, you see what you see, you can touch the person, it's real. There's no AI there. So that was amazing. So anyway, we'll continue this morning with part 4, I believe I'm on. Yeah, part 4 on the miracle of Fatima, and it's very interesting. So before I get too far into things, and before we have smoke billowing out of the wood stove, I'm going to close it down. Actually, not too tight. If I close it down too tight, that's when she starts to puff back. And if I put a lot of wood on. Anyway, we're good. Let's get started. Don't forget, everyone, when it gets dry this winter, make sure you put some sort of humidifier on. Lack of humidity increases, your inability to move toxins out of your body. So make sure you have lots of humidity in the house. Okay, this first. In nomine Dei, Matronam Nostra, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Let us place ourselves in the presence of the Most Holy Trinity, as envisioned by St. Lucia in the Trinitarian Theophany, and humbly venerate the Divine Family. Most Holy and Venerable Holy Trinity, one Divine Family, I believe that Thou art here present. I venerate Thee with the deepest humility. I render to Thee with my whole heart the homage which is due to Thee. O most Holy Trinity, relying on Thine infinite goodness and promises, I hope to obtain pardon of my sins, the help of Thy grace, and life everlasting, through the merits of Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Matronam Nostrae. O most Holy Trinity, I love Thee above all things with my whole heart and soul, because Thou art all good and worthy of all love. I love my neighbor as myself for love of Thee, and I forgive all who have injured me, and ask pardon of all whom I have injured. Let us thank the Most Holy Trinity for the many graces that we receive, and offer ourselves and our sufferings up to heaven, and for the souls in purgatory. O Most Holy Trinity, I most humbly thank Thee for all the favors Thou hast bestowed upon me to the present moment. It is again thanks to Thy bounty that I should live to see this day, and I desire to employ it solely in Thy service. I consecrate to Thee all my thoughts, words, actions, and sufferings of this day. Sanctify them, that there may be none that is not animated by Thy love, or that would not tend to Thy greater glory. Let us make a firm resolution to avoid evil and to do good. Let us beg of the Holy Trinity the graces which are necessary to us. O most Holy Trinity, Thou knowest my weakness, and that I am unable to do anything good without the help of Thy grace. Deny me not Thy grace, proportionate to my necessities. Give me strength to avoid everything which Thou forbiddest, to practice the good which Thou hast commanded, and enable me patiently to bear all the trials which it may please Thee to send me. O Dea Matronam Nostrae, I place myself under Thy protection. I throw myself with confidence into the arms of Thy compassion. Be to me, O Mother of Mercy, my refuge in distress, my consolation in suffering, now and at the hour of my death. O most Holy Trinitarian Theophany, the Most Holy Trinity, Deum Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, I am heartily sorry for having offended Thee, and I detest all my sins, because I dread the loss of heaven and the pains of hell, but most of all because I have offended Thee, O most Holy Trinity, who are all good and deserving of all my love. I firmly resolve, with the help of Thy grace, to confess my sins, to do penance, and to amend my life. If you haven't already, go back to the first episode here of this series, where the title is The Real Third Secret of Fatima. Go back there if you haven't liked it, and please like it, and comment or something. Just it's getting a lot of action and traction, and I want to keep that going so that more people can be aware of the real third secret, where they can come and look at it, and why it's important that it's on Mr. Nobody's website. And why is Mr. Nobody Mr. Nobody? Because he doesn't want the message to be about him, okay, but about what is written there. All right, and we are all nobody, really. We're not doing this for fame and fortune and all that sort of thing. All right, we're here to help, so we're just a nobody. Oh, and the silly thing is still puffing back. Wood stove. Okay, why would the third secret of Fatima be clearer in 1960? If you remember, we left off about 1960. What is with 1960? It was on January 25th, 1959, that John the 23rd announced that he had a special inspiration to suddenly call a new ecumenical council. Before I get into this, there may not be in this section, which I didn't read yet. I was watching the Phantom Sister Lucy theory, which I linked the website. I linked the. Hang on just a second. Sorry, the stove is puffing. Puffer belly. I linked the video on the website in the comment section. And one of the things that they were talking about is that this Phantom Sister Lucy, so that supposedly this theory goes that supposedly the real Sister Lucia, I'm gonna call the real one Lucia, and the imposter Lucy. Makes it a little bit easier. But supposedly they're saying that Lucia must have known about this Lucy figure being her substitute, if you will. And only a deprived mind, I believe, would think that this was a plausible theory. But anyway, they were suggesting that why would Saint Lucia decide not to speak anymore about the third secret in 1959? That's what the world was told, that she's said she's not going to say anymore on Fatima, and that was in 1959. When she well knows that in 1960, the third secret was supposed to have been revealed by that date. So they're really stretching with their inability to cover this up. So January 25th, by the way, was the same day on which the unknown light that illuminated the world prior to World War II lit up the skies in Europe. This unknown light that appeared on January 25th, 1938, was predicted by Our Lady of Fatima as a warning that God was going to punish the world with the things that were revealed in the second part of the secret. Was the fact that John the 23rd called Vatican II on January 25th a warning about the coming punishment described in the third secret? Good question. Another question I would like to know, it says this unknown light that illuminated the world. A lot of people would say, well, it was just an aurora. And I would be curious to see, well, it wouldn't have lit up the entire world. So I just curious about that, how they try to cover up with other things. This council, called by John the 23rd in 1959, would turn out to be Vatican II, the disastrous results of which are the subject of this book, and is the calling of this council in 1959 the reason that our Blessed Mother requested the third secret of Fatima, to be revealed by 1960? Was she directly warning us of the apostasy that would result from this council, which truly gave birth to a new, phony, counter-Catholic church, as we will see in this book? Truly the only major sign that had occurred by 1960 in regard to the tremendous apostasy we are now living through, that would make things clearer was that John the 23rd had announced his intention to call a new council in 1959. In our view, it's quite obvious that the third secret of Fatima deals with the apostasy resulting from a false council. Otherwise, the third secret wouldn't make more sense in 1960, as our Blessed Mother said it would. Okay. Now, we're going to move into Albert Pike's World War I and the first secret of Fatima. So that was the reason in 1960 why Deum Matronam Nostra wanted the secret revealed before 1960, at the latest 1960. It's definitely Vatican II. Okay, so how the three children of Fatima halted Freemasonry's abomination of desolation in 1917, stopping World War I. Quote, she opened her hands once more, as she had done during the 2 previous months. The rays of light seemed to penetrate the earth, and we saw, as it were, a sea of fire. Plunged in this fire were demons and souls of the damned in human form, like transparent burning embers, all blackened and burnished bronze, floating about the conflagration, now raised into the air by the flames that issued from within themselves, together with great clouds of smoke, now falling back on every side like sparks in huge fires, without weight or equilibrium, amid shrieks and groans of pain and despair, which horrified us and made us tremble with fear. It must have been this sight which caused me to cry out, as people say they heard me. The demons could be distinguished from the souls of the damned by their terrifying and repellent likeness to frightful and unknown animals, black and transparent like burning coals. This vision lasted but an instant. How can we ever be grateful enough to our kind Heavenly Mother, who had already prepared us by promising in the first apparition to take us to heaven? Otherwise, I think we would have died of fear and terror. You have seen hell, where the souls of poor sinners go. To save them, God wishes to establish in the world devotion to my Immaculate Heart. If what I say to you is done, many souls will be saved and there will be peace. The war is going to end, but if people do not cease offending God, a worse one will break out during the reign of Pius XI. When you see a night illumined by an unknown light, know that this is the great sign given you by God, that He is about to punish the world for its crimes by means of war, famine, and persecutions against the Church. To prevent this, I shall come to ask for the consecration of Russia to my Immaculate Heart and the communion of reparation on the first Saturdays. If my requests are heeded, Russia will be converted and there will be peace. If not, she will spread her errors throughout the world, causing wars and persecutions of the Church. The good will be martyred. The Holy Father will have much to suffer. Various nations will be annihilated. In the end, my Immaculate Heart will triumph. The Holy Father will consecrate Russia to me, and she will be converted, and a period of peace will be granted to the world. In Portugal, the dogma of the faith will always be preserved. Do not tell this to anybody. Francisco, yes, you may tell him. That was the translation of the second secret of Fatima. Translation of the first 2 secrets of Fatima, 1917. The First World War must be brought about in order to permit the Illuminati to overthrow the power of the czars in Russia and of making that country a fortress of atheistic communism. The divergences caused by the agentur of, or that's agents of the Illuminati between the British and Germanic empires will be used to foment this war. At the end of the war, communism will be built and used in order to destroy the other governments and in order to weaken the religions. That was 33rd degree Jewish Freemason Albert Pike in 1871. We continue with Albert Pike. The Second World War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences between the fascists and the political Zionists. This war must be brought about so that Nazism is destroyed and that the political Zionism be strong enough to institute a sovereign state of Israel in Palestine. During the Second World War, international communism must become strong enough in order to balance Christendom, which would be then restrained and held in check until the time when we would need it for the final social cataclysm. Unquote. Again, that was written by Albert Pike in 1871, worldwide head of Freemasonry. In 1917, the world was at a turning point. The Jewish-led Bolsheviks in Russia had taken down the administration of their Russian Tsar and were in the process of installing a communist government run by their own party of Jewish Freemasons. A bloody war, which was started by Masonic governments as a blood sacrifice to their god Baphomet, was being fought in Europe, and simultaneously the Catholic Church was being led further into the abyss by Freemasonry. Things were not good. Although Freemasonry's dream of the Novus Ordo Council was still 42 years away, the anathematizing curse of the 1777 change by the Congregation of Rites in the Vatican had rapidly spread the spiritual carnage, the mark of the beast, throughout Europe, and it was infecting the area near Fatima, Portugal, where St. Lucia, St. Jacinta, and St. Francisco resided on their family farms. We now can look back and understand that in St. Lucia's area of Portugal, the succession of valid priests and bishops was most likely broken by José Sebastião Cardinal de Alameda Neto, OFM 1880, and the consequence of this Masonic infiltration would have manifested in the form of compromised sacraments in St. Lucia's church. And it was under the control of this Masonic cardinal after he was installed in 1880. OFM sometimes represents the Order of Freemasonry. With Freemasons controlling both the government and the church in Portugal after 1880, regular Catholics who were unaware of these workings were in a dangerous position. And that's what happens today is a lot of ignorant Catholics are in a very dangerous position. Since these high-level Vatican workings were above the level of knowledge of St. Lucia's mother, who to her credit took on the responsibility of raising her children Catholic by teaching them the rosary from the teachings of her compromised Trent-based catechism, the situation was quite dire for St. Lucia's Catholic family and other families associated with her local church. Masonry had Portugal and its Catholic citizens surrounded in ways that would only become clearer as time passed. In 1910, because of the socialist revolution in Portugal, Catholic priests were getting arrested. The theology of the post-Trent Church had these Portuguese villagers unknowingly worshiping the Lord Satan, and it was probable their local priest was not even validly ordained. As a consequence, the sacraments that were being administered were most likely invalid or compromised at best. Okay, we're going to end there for today, and we'll continue on with the website ourladiesgod.com, and really appreciate the words there. Deum vobiscum, et quoque apotei, oremus. O most holy Trinity, the Creator and Redeemer of all the faithful, grant to the souls of thy servants and handmaids the remission of all their sins, that they may obtain by loving prayers the forgiveness which they have always desired, who livest and reignest with thee, one holy Trinity, forever and ever. Suscipe Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, hanc amagalatum hostium, quam ego indignus famulus tuus offerit tibi Deum eum vivum et verum, pro inamitabibus peccatis et offensionibus et negligentis meis, et pro omnibus circumstantibus et pro omnibus fidedibus catholicorum vivis atque defunctis ut mihi eridis proficiat salutem. Deum qui humanae substantia dignitatem mirabilita condidisi et mirabilis reformastur de nobis, per vivis atque divinem mysterium eis divinitatis esse consortis criminitatis nostrae, fieri natis es particips Deum Iesum Christum filium, qui tegum vivit et regnat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Offerimus tibi Deum calicem salutaris tuum depecantis clementiam ut conspectu divinae majestatis tuae pro nostra et otius mundi salute, cum adori suavitatis ascendat. In spiritu meditatis et in animo contrito, suscipiamur te Deum Iesum Christum, et sanctifiet sacrificium nostrum et conspectu hodie, ut placiat tibi Deum matronam nostrae Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Veni sanctificator. Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Et sanctificita plata pro secundo, et accepere hoc sacrificium tuo sancto nomine praeparatum. Suscipe Sancta Trinitas concoblationem cum tibi afferimus a memoriam passiones, resurrectionis et ascensionis Deum Iesum Christum, et in honorem Deum matronam nostrae et Papa Peter Sanctorum et Istorum et omnium Sanctorum, ut idis proficiat ad honorem nobis autem ad salutem, et illi pro nobis intercedere in inter caelis, coram amorem agimus in telis penendum Christum Deum nostrum. Orate, ut meam ac vestrum sacrificium acceptabile fiat ab Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Suscipia Deum Iesum Christum, sacrificium de manibus tuis et laudem et gloriam nominis sui ad utilitatem quoque nostram totiusque ecclesiae suae sanctae. Deum vobiscum, et quoque apotei, sursum corda habemus ad Deum. Gratias agamus Deum nostrum, dignum et justum est. Te igitor mentes me mater pater, Deum matram nostrae, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per Deum Iesum Christum filium tuum Deum nostrae, supplices rogamus ac petimus, uti accepta habeas, et sanctificas hac sanctam sacrificium ilibata. In primis quae tibi afferimus pro ecclesiam tuum sanctam catholicam, quam pacificare custodire honorare et regere, digneris tot obiterarum atque catholicae. Memento Deum famulorum cetuorum. We pray for the sick and the suffering. Pray for Katie Gage, R.M., Neil and R. Lively, Maria Josephina Mose, Letitia, Clarette, Mark Jr., Henry, Barbara, and Benedict Santa Croce, Amble Tink, Mr. Nobody, the Cantu and Duarte families, Michaela McLarnon and family, Janelina Laurie Aaron and family, Maria and the Lineweber family, the Cahill, Kendrick, Dasco, Narita, Ford, Began, Wolf, and Kane families, and their intentions. We pray for Mr. Nobody to receive the funding and strength needed to complete the first Sede Vacantis Catholic Council office in Monastery of Illinois. We pray for an end to all governmental allowance or sanctioning of abortion, transgenderism, transhumanism, child trafficking, child abuse of any kind, anywhere, place, or time. Pray for the end to all government deception and lying, and that we pray that the people come to see and take advantage of their remedy, and that the IRS employees all conform to the law as it is written, so that the remedy might be given to everyone as it was intended. We pray for the establishment of a Catholic monarchy with a sound Catholic system of labor, human value, and medium exchange, with no usury, to take over the current system and bring peace and prosperity to people. We pray for courageous men to step forward as leaders of this Catholic society to make this a reality. We ask for the conversion of all sinners trapped in a state of mortal sin, especially the ignorant. And we ask for the negative effects of all inoculations to be destroyed, removed from the body. We pray for wisdom on how to prepare natural foods and to share them with our neighbors. All these things we ask in accordance with the Holy Trinity's divine will. Et omnium circumstantium coram tibi fides cognitas et nota devotio, pro quibus tibi afferimus, veruque tibi affront hoc sacrificium laudis prosi suis omnibus, pro redemptione animarum suarum pros salutis et egulamitatis suae, tibi credunt volta sua aeterna Deum vivo et vero, communicantes et memorantes in primis gloriosae, semper Deum maternam nostrae, Deum Iesum Christum, et beatorum martyrium tuorum Papa Sancte Petri, et Sancti Lucia, et Sancti Jacinta, et Sancti Francisco, et Sancti Juan Diego, et omnium sanctorum tuorum corum meditis, praecibusque concedas ut in omnibus protectiones tuae munum et exilio periundum Christum Deum nostrum. Quam oblationem te Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum in omnibum consecratem acceptabilemque fecere dignitis ut nobis corpum et sanguinem fiat delictis me filium tuum Deum Iesum Christum. Qui pridie quam patoretur recepit panem in sancta sacra habilis manus suas, et derivatis oculis in caelum ad te Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum suum omnipotentem tibi gratias agens, consecravit, frege didique luminis sui dicens accipite et manducat ex hoc omnes. Hoc est enim corpus meum. Simini modo postquam ceremonia est accipienser hunc praeclarum calicem in sancta sacra honorabilis manus suas sit in tibi gratias agens Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, consecrave dedique luminis sui dicens accipite et bibite ex omnes. Hic est enim calix sanguinis mei mysterium fidei, quae pro nobis et pro multis effundetur in remissionem peccatorum, haecut est cum purificeritis in me mono facetis. Unde et memoris Deum nos servitui, sed plebs tua sancta justum Christum filium tuum Deum nostrae, tam beate passiones, nec non et in fedis rejectionis, sed et in caelos gloriosae ascensionis afferimus, praeclarae maiestati tui de tuis donis actatis, supra quae propitio ac sereno vutur respicere digneris. Supplices tergamus Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, ibi hec peperipa manus tuum ut quod exaltataris participationis sacrosanctum Deum Filium Tuum, corpus et sanguinem sincerimus, omni sanctificatione caelestia gratia repeamur per Deum Christum Deum nostrae. We pray for those who have died, and we especially pray for Eva Dasco, for whom this Mass is being offered. Ipsis Deum et omnibus in Christum quis gentibum locum refugere lucis et pacis ut dolor gesta placamur per Deum Christum Deum nostrum. Perquam haec omnia Deum Iesum Christum semper bono creas, sanctificas, vivicas, consecratis et praestas nobis. Per ipsum et cum ipso et in ipso, est tibi Deum Matrum omnipotenti in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, omnis honor et gloria. Ave Dea, matronum nostrae, gratia plena Deum Patrum, Spiritum Sanctum tecum, sanctam tuum in mulieribus, Dea matronum nostrae, materam Deum, Iesum Christum, misericordia nobis, peccatoribus nunc et in hora mortis nostrae. Libera nos quaesimus Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum abundibus malis, praeteritis, praesentibus et futuris, et intercedente beata gloriosa semper Deum matronum nostrae, cum Papa Petrum Sanctorum et omnibus sanctis da propitius pacem in dibus nostris, ut opi misericordiae tuae advittit peccato, simus semper liberi et ab omni perturbatione securi. Petiendum Deum nostrum, Iesum Christum, Filium Tuum Deum nostrum, qui tegum vivit et reinat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per aeternam. Pax Deum, Iesum Christum, sed semper vobiscum, in quoque apote. Haec extior consecratio corporis et sanguinis Deum Iesum Christum, fiat excipientibus nobis in et salutem aeternam. Pax tecum, et quoque apote. Deum Iesum Christum, qui ex voluntate Deum matronam nostrae, qua pronte Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum per mortem tuum unum vivificasti, libera me per hoc sacro sanctum corpus et sanguinem tuum ab nobis iniquitatibus meis et una vesis malis, et fac me tui semper in harare mandatis, et ad numquam separati per nimitas, qui cum eodem Deum matronam nostrae et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum vivis et regnam aeternam. Perceptio corporis tui Deum Iesum Christum quod ego in linius sumere praesimo non mihi proveniat in judicium et condemnationem, sed pro tu pietate prosit mihi ad tutum et impetis corporis et ad me delam percipiendam qui vivis et reinas, cum Deum matronam nostrae in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Panem celestem accipiem et nomen Deum Iesum Christum invocabo. Deum matronam nostrae non sunt dignos, suditus et et meis in tante de corpus nobiternam mea. Deum Iesum Christum non sunt dignos, suditus et et meis in tante de corpus nobiternam mea. Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum non sunt dignos, suditus et et meis in tante de corpus nobiternam mea. Corpus Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima meam. Quid retrubum Deum Iesum Christum pro omnibus quae retribut mihi calicem saitaris accipiem in nomen Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum invocabo. Ad ans invocabo Deum matronam nostrae et ab inimicis mei salvos ero. Sanguis Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima mea. Quod sumus Deum Iesum Christum pienamente capiamus et immune in tempore fit nobis remedium sempiternum. Corpus tuum Deum Iesum Christum quod somsit sanguis quam potavi et hedibus scelibus. Meis et praes davut in me non remaniat scelera macula quam purat sancta reficerunt sacramenta. Deum vobiscum, et quoque potei, oremus. May the prayer of thy suppliants profit the souls of thy servants and handmaids, we beseech thee, O most holy Trinity, that thou mayest free them from all sins and make them sharers in thy redemption, who livest and reignest with thee, one divine family, forever and ever. Deum vobiscum, et quoque potei, ite mise est. Deum gratia. Placia tibi sancta Trinitam obsequium servitudis meae et praesta ut sacrificium coroculis tuae majestatis in unus autoritatis et acceptabile mico et omnibus, proquibus irut optoliciti miserante propitiabile vicuris Deum nostrum. Sanctificat vos omnipotens Deum Matronam, et Filium, et Spiritum Sanctum, Deum Matronam Nostra, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. O most holy Trinity, I believe, I venerate, I hope, and I love thee. I beg of thee pardon for those who do not believe, do not venerate, do not hope, and do not love thee. O most holy Trinity, I venerate thee profoundly, and I offer to thee the most precious body, blood, soul, and divinity of Deum Iesum Christum, present here in reparation for the outrageous, sacrilegious, and indifference by which he himself is offended, and through the infinite merits of his most sacred heart, and the Immaculate Heart of God Our Lady, who was, is, and ever shall be, I beg of thee the conversion of poor sinners. In nomine Dei, Matronam Nostra, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. Okay, so I getting the warning light on my phone. The device is too hot. I got the wood stove too hot again. Oh well. Thank you for coming. Thank you for your donations and for your likes. And, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. We're nearing 500. We have 428 subscribers. 500 is a milestone. That would be really good. And appreciate it. I really do. Please go and sanctify everyone that you meet, and we'll see you tomorrow. Same time, we'll continue on work on the website. Have a great day.